Did you know pharaohs used to ejaculate into the Nile? Yes, you heard that right. The Nile shaped the worldview of ancient Egyptians. It was a river that blessed its people with a source of food, water, and transportation. By performing this act, pharaohs were symbolically preventing the river from drying up, ensuring the fertility of the land, the abundance of crops, and the prosperity of the kingdom. Could that explain why the Nile has the biggest crocodile in the world? Did you know that Cleopatra, one of the most iconic women in history, had a beauty secret so disgusting you'll never look at skincare the same way again? Forget the face masks you're used to. Cleopatra's beauty routine included something that would make anyone cringe: crocodile poop. Yes, you heard that right, crocodile poop. She literally slathered her face with dung for smooth skin. This wasn't some ancient prank either. It was a real beauty treatment from 2,000 years ago. But that's not all. This wasn't just any poop. It was thought to have special healing powers. Yep, ancient Egyptians were obsessed with the idea of animal waste as a magical skincare ingredient. Who knew that the key to perfect skin was literal animal waste? So the next time you complain about your expensive skincare routine, just remember, Cleopatra was out here using poop to stay gorgeous. Think you can top Cleopatra's beauty routine? Comment below if you dare to try this ancient gross beauty hack. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insane facts that'll blow your mind. Imagine going to the pharmacy and buying ground up mummy. In the 17th century, it wasn't just medicine, it was a craze called mumia. This powder was made from ancient Egyptian mummies, believed to cure anything from headaches to internal bleeding. Kings and peasants alike sought this remedy. But here's the catch. Demand became so high that forgeries and body snatching surged. The practice finally ended in the 18th century, but it leaves a chilling question. How far would people go for a cure? You spent years on YouTube, yet never heard these jaw-dropping history facts for a reason. Napoleon Bonaparte is one of history's greatest military leaders. But did you know he might have committed a shocking crime? During the French campaign in Egypt, thousands of soldiers fell victim to a deadly plague. Napoleon allegedly ordered his own men to be poisoned when retreat seemed impossible. Why? To avoid capture by the enemy. The truth is still debated, but this dark accusation casts a shadow on his legacy. What do you think? Was it a cruel necessity or a horrifying betrayal? Speak your mind in the comments. See you tomorrow. These are 4 weird Maya mating customs they didn't teach you in school for a reason. First, they matched couples based on astrology. If your crush was born 3 seconds too late, forget about it. Your love life literally depended on the stars. Second, they deformed babies' skulls using wooden planks, thinking elongated heads were the ultimate beauty. Third, they filed their teeth into sharp points and decorated them with jade. A perfect smile was intimidating yet desirable. Finally, couples had to prove their compatibility by working together in daily tasks like farming and weaving before marriage. Which of these shocked you? Let me know.
What if I told you there's a building that has been a church, a mosque, and a museum, surviving over 1,500 years of history? Welcome to the Hagia Sophia, a masterpiece that has seen empires rise and fall. Constructed in 537 CE under Emperor Justinian, this was the crown jewel of the Byzantine Empire. Its massive dome was an architectural marvel, the largest of its kind at the time. Imagine stepping into a hall so vast, it felt like heaven itself had opened its doors. But history is rarely still. In 1453, when Constantinople fell to the Ottomans, the Hagia Sophia transformed into a mosque. Minarets were added, and stunning Islamic calligraphy adorned its walls, blending cultures and breathtaking harmony. Fast forward to the 20th century, the Turkish Republic reimagined the Hagia Sophia as a museum, open to all, showcasing its blend of Christian and Islamic artistry. Today, it stands as a mosque once more, yet remains a universal symbol of cultural resilience and unity. From Emperor Justinian's vision to its role in today's world, the Hagia Sophia isn't just a building. It's a testament to human ingenuity, faith, and the passage of time.
Crazy Chinese history fact they didn't teach in school. For a reason. The year was 1958, and in China, an unprecedented war was declared, not against an invading army or a rival nation, but against the country's most unlikely enemy, sparrows. Yes, sparrows, those tiny feathery creatures, were accused of stealing grains, devouring seeds, and disrupting agriculture. Chairman Mao Zedong, determined to eliminate the problem, launched the Great Sparrow Campaign, a key part of the Four Pests campaign. The strategy was as simple as it was bizarre. Citizens across China were instructed to bang pots, wave flags, and create as much noise as possible to scare the sparrows into constant flight. Unable to land, the sparrows eventually collapsed and died from sheer exhaustion. For days, the skies filled with chaos as people waged war against these unsuspecting birds. At first, the campaign seemed like a success. Sparrows fell in droves, and the people celebrated their triumph. But soon, a much bigger problem emerged. Without sparrows to keep them in check, locusts and other insects multiplied rapidly, turning lush fields into barren wastelands. The crops, once protected, became an open buffet for the insect hordes, and famine loomed over the nation. Faced with this escalating crisis, a radical idea emerged. What if an army of ducks could save the day? Ducks, after all, were natural predators of insects and could consume hundreds of pests each day. This quirky but potentially brilliant solution gained momentum, and soon thousands of ducks were mobilized. Across fields and farmlands, the ducks waddled into action. They were relentless, devouring locusts with surprising efficiency. Farmers, initially skeptical, were awestruck by the effectiveness of their feathered reinforcements. The ducks became heroes, a quirky but vital force in combating the agricultural disaster. However, as with all armies, the duck army had its challenges. The ducks were easily distracted. Some wandered off to lounge in rice paddies or snack on crops they were supposed to protect. Others abandoned their duties entirely, forming rogue flocks and waddling off into the unknown. Despite these setbacks, their contributions were undeniable. The Great Duck Army has since gone down in history as one of the most unusual pest control strategies ever attempted. It is a testament to human creativity in times of crisis, and a reminder that even the strangest ideas can sometimes save the day. This is the tale of the Duck Army, a quacking force for good and a feathered battalion that turned the tide against the insect invasion. In history, as in life, truth is often stranger than fiction. In years of YouTube, you've never heard this crazy French history fact. 1881 in Paris, a woman nicknamed Marie the Venomous terrorized the French aristocracy. Her weapon, a simple quill dipped in deadly poison. Marie would approach her victims under the guise of writing letters for them. But a single touch from the pen was enough to kill. She murdered over 10 people, mostly wealthy men, before being caught through an innovative investigation that pioneered forensic chemistry. The most shocking part, she showed no remorse and even smiled during her public execution. Truth stranger than fiction.
Today, we explore a moment that changed the world of science forever. On December 27, 1831, a young Charles Darwin, just 22 years old, set sail aboard the HMS Beagle, embarking on a journey that would span nearly 5 years. This voyage not only took him across continents, but also ignited a scientific revolution. The HMS Beagle's mission was to survey the coastlines of South America and other regions. But for Darwin, it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to observe nature in its raw, untamed form. He meticulously collected plant and animal specimens, studied diverse ecosystems, and made groundbreaking observations about species and their variations. One of the most iconic stops was the islands, where Darwin noticed how finches had evolved different beak shapes to adapt to their specific environments. These findings became the cornerstone of his revolutionary theory of evolution by natural selection, published years later in On the Origin of Species. This book not only challenged the scientific community but also reshaped humanity's understanding of life itself. Today, 193 years later, Darwin's voyage remains one of the most pivotal moments in the history of science. His insights continue to inspire curiosity, exploration, and the pursuit of knowledge. So, what part of Darwin's journey or his work resonates with you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this story intriguing, make sure to like, share, and follow us for more historical insights every day. Did you know about these 4 remarkable events that took place on December 24th throughout history? 1814, 210 years ago, the Treaty of Ghent was signed, ending the War of 1812 between the United States and Great Britain. Talk about a Christmas gift of peace. 2. Have you ever wondered when the world first heard Silent Night? On this day in 1818, 206 years ago, the carol was performed for the first time in Oberndorf, Austria. Proof that even a silent night can make a lot of noise in history. 3. On December 24th, 1914, 110 years ago, during World War I, the Christmas truce began on the Western Front. Who would have thought a game of football could momentarily stop a war? Did you know that on December 24th, 1968, 56 years ago, Apollo 8 astronauts orbited the moon and read a passage from the book of Genesis during a Christmas Eve broadcast? A truly celestial reading.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
If you're still here, you know there's a surprise waiting for you. Here's one last event that happened on December 24th. Ever heard of the Eggnog Riot? On this day in 1826, 198 years ago, a Christmas party at the U.S. Military Academy turned chaotic. due to smuggled whiskey in the eggnog. Who knew eggnog could cause such a hangover? For the history books. Thanks for joining us on this festive journey through time. If you enjoyed this trip back in history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell to stay updated with more fascinating moments. Here are 4 fascinating events that happened on December 23rd in history, plus a surprise at the end. 1. Did you know that on December 23rd, 1888, 136 years ago, Vincent van Gogh famously cut off part of his own ear during a heated argument with fellow artist Paul Gauguin? Imagine being so passionate about art that you'd, well, slice off an ear. Talk about giving a piece of yourself to the craft. 2. 201 years ago, in 1823, a visit from St. Nicholas, aka "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," was published anonymously in a New York newspaper. The poem is considered to be one of the most famous and influential Christmas poems ever written. It's largely responsible for the modern conception of Santa Claus, including his appearance, transportation, and the idea that he delivers toys to children. 3. On this day in 1947, 77 years ago, William Shockley, John Bardeen, and Walter Brattain demonstrated the first working transistor. This little invention eventually led to computers and smartphones. Without it, we might still be writing letters instead of scrolling TikTok. Revolutionary and time-saving. 4. Let's jump to December 23, 1972, 52 years ago, when the survivors of the Andes flight disaster were rescued after 72 days. They survived in the harshest conditions, proving that human determination knows no limits. Talk about the most intense survivor episode ever. If you are still watching, you know we have a surprise for you. Here's one last thing that happened today in history. Who knew a ballot box could be more powerful than a battlefield? On this day in 1990, 33 years ago, Slovenia voted for independence from Yugoslavia. This marked a turning point for the Balkans and set the stage for modern Europe. Do you think Melania Trump would have been America's first lady twice? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for joining us for today's trip down memory lane. If you loved today's journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss a historical moment that's shaping today.